Hey everybody, it's Chris and I'm back to do another pour with you. I apologize, I kind of have some blue paint here on the background, but I had done another painting and decided I was just going to wipe it up a little bit so that I could reuse my plastic. A lot of times what I do is wait for everything to dry and then I just peel off the paint and reuse it. So my plastic gets used multiple times before it truly does go in the trash. So today we're going to do a ring pour, and I had done a series of paintings for a gallery wall for my office, and I had hung those in my office, but I have kind of a spot that's next to the copier that I felt kind of needed one more painting. So today we're going to do a 9x12. This is a gallery wrap style, just like the other ones were, so it's the thicker sides on the canvas. And we're going to do a ring pour. So the colors we're using are that beautiful champagne gold, prism violet. We're also using the metallic cobalt from Artist Loft. This is warm gray. And then we're also using some Prussian blue. Now, I've mixed these paints thicker than I normally would for other paintings that I do, since it is a ring pour. And I've only mixed my paints with Floetrol. I did not use my pouring medium, so it's just Floetrol and paint. I've got, I believe this is a 5-ounce cup here. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer my paints in. And then I do want to put a little bit of white paint down on the canvas just to kind of help the colors move a little bit. And I think I want to start with a little bit of the, trying to decide. I want to keep the gold and the warm gray away from each other because I feel like they kind of look very similar. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the gold down here in the bottom, just because I want a little bit of shimmer there. And then next I'm going to put in the prism violet. Just kind of going to pour down the side here to create the paint pour. And I probably have about 1.5 to 2 ounces of paint mixed, and I don't plan on using all of this. I just wanted to make sure that I did have enough. And then next we're going to put that beautiful cobalt, metallic cobalt in. And then we'll come back with the warm gray. And I just want to do one layer of colors. I don't want to repeat my colors in here. And then finally we will do the Prussian blue. And you can see that my paints are fairly thick here. So I'm not trying to get enough paint to cover the entire canvas with paint. I think part of the having a successful ring pour is to make sure that you have enough that you want to have color variation, but you also need to make sure that you've got enough so that you can stretch it so that you can actually see the rings. All right, so I probably have, I would say 2 ounces of paint in there. And then I've got some of my Artist Loft white here that has been mixed with pouring medium. And I'm just gonna kind of put a little, I'm gonna put some down here. And I think probably what my main purpose here is to make sure that my sides are covered, because I don't expect that my paint is going to go over the edges on all 4 sides. So I just want to make sure that I do have some white paint covering on this canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and coat this real quick and then come back and I'll show you the ring pour, so hold tight. All right, I'm just going to quickly torch the bubbles that I've got in my white paint here. Got the entire thing flooded with some white, so we have a nice little surface to lay the colors down on. All right, and then here's our beautiful cup of paint. So I'm just going to start here in the middle of the canvas. And just kind of pouring out in a circular motion. It's interesting, the gold was the first to go in, but I think it's going to be the last one to come out. I think it sunk. Waiting for that warm gray to come out too. Must have sunk down as well. Let's see if I can move my cup around a little bit to distribute those colors. Here we go. All right, and then I do want to make sure that I grab this so I don't have a weird middle. Just like that. So it doesn't seem to matter. I always feel like I start in the middle and I always end up towards one side, but that's all right. We'll fix it. All right, I'm just gonna let this kind of spread out a little bit more before I start to tilt it. And I'm gonna go ahead and torch it, make sure that we don't have bubbles in there. Because I can see a few. All right, now we're gonna pick it up and see if we can stretch these rings out. It really has some beautiful colors though. So when I do a ring pour like this, I kind of like to try to go in circles to try to kind of get things to start stretching because I do like the circular shape that it creates. Now it obviously will not remain circular since I did not pour it completely in the center, but that's okay. So just going to continue to kind of work it around. And I really don't mind if I still have a little bit of a white background too, so that's all right. Just kind of trying to get those rings a little bit more defined than what we have right now. I'm going to go ahead and let it run down off of this left side here. And continuing to stretch it out a little bit. Just kind of define that a bit more. You can see down here on this end, we have a lot more definition on the rings. And while I have the weight of the paint down here, I'm going to go ahead and stretch up towards the top. And then I'll bring it back down and go off of the bottom as well. Just while I have the weight of the paint down here on the right end. And then I want to let the paint kind of come back up towards the middle a little bit. And then we're going to let it kind of flow down here to the right. I love using metallic paints in my pours, and I feel like this particular style of pour, it looks almost like an agate. It's just so pretty. It's important when you're doing this too to try to make sure that the weight of your paint really is distributed evenly so that you will stretch everything kind of the way it needs to be stretched, if that makes sense. Because if you have the weight in the right spots, then it should kind of retain its shape a little bit for you. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this one to go all the way off of the edge up there. Kind of have a weird spot right there that I kind of want to tip off. And then I'm going to come back down and let the weight of the paint come down to the bottom. And then I think we'll let it come back over here to the left. Kind of even the weight of the paint out. There we go. Make sure I've got you back in frame here. So cool. So you can see the definition of the lines. I'm afraid I'm gonna drip on the painting here. We've got a lot of definition of the lines here. We've got that beautiful gold. Has some really interesting cells forming within the painting as well. So really fun technique. You should truly try it. Okay, let me see if I can pick this up and give you a little bit closer view of what I have going on in the middle here. Try and go slow so that my camera focuses for you. Isn't that beautiful? You can see the little cells that I have kind of forming around the center there. And then I'll show you kind of some of the lines. I apologize, it's the darker paintings are a little bit harder for you to see, unfortunately. And I promise I'll take a good picture of it off of this background so that you can see a nicer picture of it. And I'll put a few close-ups at the end of the video as well. All right, guys, there it is. The last painting. Hopefully this finishes off the gallery wall, and then I will post a painting, or excuse me, I'll post a picture of the entire gallery wall so you can see how everything looks. It's actually pretty cool. I love how it all turned out. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching today. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get notifications when I post something new. Have a great day. Bye-bye.